What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is David Feldman-Makrias, and today what we're going to be talking about is client permission and how you do not need it. All you got to do is one other thing instead. So, without further ado, let's roll right into it. So, client permission in the agency world, I'm going to leave my head real big. In the agency world, in the client service space, a lot of movement on what digital agencies can do, whether that be paid search, SEO, hell, this is synonymous without a lot of industries just in the client service industry. Oftentimes, people need permission. You need the client's permission. Let me copy some notes here that I have for us and some topics. When we talk about client permission, what is client permission? Well, pretty much asking the client that if you can do something versus if you can't. One item, if you're in advertising, that comes to mind immediately is can I say this? Meaning, can I advertise this offer for your business? Should I construct it in this way? So on and so forth. Other examples in other industries that are also client servicing. I mean, hell, if you go to a restaurant, can I take your order? It's a lot of it is permission based where we focus on the customer, right? And that's not always the best idea, especially when you are servicing a client and you're running your own business and you're trying to perform a service that they may or may not understand. I've run into plenty of clients that demonstrate the attitude that they know best, but in fact, they're paying an expert like myself or anybody on my team or whatever company it is to perform that service because A, they are not the expert, or B, they don't have the time. So, there's a fine line between needing client permission and not. So let's get into this right away. Why do we need client permission in the first place? Well, clients pay for us. They pay our bills. I'm not going to say pay for us, pay us. They pay our bills, right? And anything withholding to that, you want to, serve them properly. And that's, I think, the main reason why, I mean, why do we say, hey, can I take your order at a restaurant? Well, we're doing it because that's what we have to do, because that client or that customer is going to pay money for whatever service that is. So it makes sense to be nice and demonstrate that value to them. Now, getting client permission is a little bit different. Um, Oftentimes, you want to please the client, right? Because they pay you. Also, there's other things too that get pretty technical, like brand guidelines. If your client has a specific brand, they want their message portrayed in a very specific way. In the automotive sector, I can just iterate off the top of my head. Mercedes Benz is very, very particular about how they demonstrate their overall brand. They actually have specific departments that go through all sorts of advertising for their different franchises and their national brand campaigns that go through, audit how the look and aesthetics correlate to their brand guidelines and how they want their brand represented. So again, that kind of all ties into the client permission. Why else do we ask client permission? Well, we could be unsure of their expectations, or really, or to match their expectations. We want to be on the same page with our clients, obviously, because good relationships in business often lead to productive services, productive projects, so on and so forth. I think it's pretty self evident why we ask for client permission, but I'm here to tell you that it's just not needed. Um, you just have to do you have to do it in a specific way, which I'm going to talk about as the solution. But first, I want to talk about why this is bad. Okay, why is it bad to always ask for client permission? Well, the first thing I can think of that I just know happens all the time is it slows up the process. If I'm running a paid ad campaign and I need to get the campaigns live, I want to go through all the ad copy settings, campaign targeting with the client. Oftentimes, especially now, clients are so inundated with things that they have to do that's really not irrelevant, but also in addition to the marketing of their business. Um, if we just wait on them, it's going to slow up the process. They can't always communicate. They're doing other things. They pay us, well, really, in this digital marketing space and online consultant space, they pay us to, have the expertise to go forward, so on and so forth. So if we're always relying on them, like for certain offers, for certain messaging, so on and so forth, they're gonna slow up the process. Also, why is this bad? I think one of the biggest points is we become too dependent on the client's input and pleasing the client rather than doing what is best for the project, right? Oftentimes, I've been in meetings where we present an idea, the client shoots us down because it doesn't match their personal taste. But the goal is really not for their personal taste. It's for the market. It's for the market to capture the attention of the market and drive more leads and sales. And as the experts, we should be the ones that are laying that out and in charge of that. I've been in countless meetings, and I'm sure I will be in countless many more where this just is not the case. But what happens is, after a while of trying to get approvals for clients, you just become order takers. You know, you become an order taker. If there's too much of this type of behavior going on, you know. So how do we get out of this, right? I can keep going between of why client permissions are there, why it's bad, but I think we are on the same page as far as, there is another way to move forward with clients successfully, where they're pleased with the project, where it doesn't slow up the process, where we don't become too dependent on pleasing the client for exactly the right verbiage or ad copy or campaign settings, so on and so forth. The solution, here's my solution that's worked the best overall. The solution is um, simple, right? Just let them know. What does that mean? Well, you're just advising, you're telling. Clients should be able to, if they don't like something, that they're going to tell you. So really, this isn't asking for permission. This is um, this is more telling the client what you're going to do, not asking for permission, but giving them the opportunity so that they know that you're sharing those expectations, and you're sharing what you're going to be doing. So you're keeping them in the loop, but you're not necessarily asking for their permission, because that's going to hold up the process, or it shows too much dependency on the client's input. So what are some contextual examples? Well, sending items for reference rather than approval. So if you need some sort of creative or ad copy sent to the client just because, you allow them to see it, but you're sending for reference. Hey, so this is going out today, right? Rather than saying something like, "Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Client, this is the creative we had. We need your approval to move forward. Do you approve?" You know, that's a prime example of how to distinguish the difference, um, between asking for their permission versus just moving forward anyways. Why does this work? I'm going to tell you why this works. Why does this work? We imply that we're asking for their permission. No, that's not the right way to say it. We're implying that we're open to their input. That's really what the approval process is, anyways. We're implying, hey, we're open to your input here. If you have something to say it. If you think that the ad copy's not right, let us know. If you think that the budget's not right, let us know, so on and so forth. We also come from the standpoint of consulting slash advising slash leadership versus um, order taking. It puts us more in a higher priority status, if you will, or higher priority position. It's not so much higher priority. It's more authoritative. It puts us in an authoritative position that we are the authority in the space, that we are the authority on what we are doing, and we know what we're doing. And it gives more confidence. This provides more confidence that is instilled in clients for our expertise. So that's why just that little like adjustment, rather than sending for approval, we're sending for reference. We're saying, hey, this is what we're doing. It's going to imply, hey, we're open to your input if you have any, but this is what we're doing. This is the reason why. You know, you can also put for added emphasis, include a reason why. One thing that's led me very, very well as part of a solution, just to table on to just let them know, is have matching expectations for the result that's going to deem success. So uh, be congruent on the expectations for the results that deem success. If a client says, I want as many leads as possible, great. We're going to craft a strategy to bring you as many leads as we possibly can. So, if that strategy that you came up with and you need to run by the client, you're sending that to them, you can always use that added emphasis, include a reason why. We see in the market that this is going to lead to the best results to drive you the most amount of leads. If you include that, incorporate that into your reason why, then it's you really don't need approval at all. You really come from the authoritative standpoint. And then you put the onus on the client. Not saying you want to put anything on your client, but you put the onus on the client. If they do want to change something, then that's on them, right? That's on them. And if it's something small, clients do want to demonstrate some control over ad copy and things like that. But a lot of them will be okay as long as they trust you with getting the results. So there you have to deliver. Um, Other clients will give you more pushback, depends on the industry, depends on the type of person involved in the industry. Um, Old school, new school, whatever it may be, because advertising, has never been as trackable as it is now. And that's a pretty big deal. And not everybody is used to that. That's why there was so much pushback previously. So to go back to that, be congruent on the expectations for the results that deem success. If you come in and say, hey, I understand. I understand that you want to change your mind or you want to change some of the strategies that we have to X, Y, and Z. However, what we found is that when we do it this way, this is going to lead to the best results possible. And with that, most of them, as long as you have that authority and credibility with them, they're going to trust you. They're going to trust your advisement because that's what you're there to do. And again, that's what the main goal is, to get more to that authoritative standpoint. Not that you want to you know, push your finger on everybody saying, no, client A, you can't do that. No, client B, you can't do that. That's not the idea. The idea is to not slow up the process with approvals, because that is death. Slowing up with approvals and making the process slower is exactly the wrong thing to do. Plus, becoming too dependent on their input doesn't cater too much to the market. It ends up catering to the client. You become this order taker type of process. So the solution is really just let them know what you're going to do. Don't necessarily ask for approval. Just say, hey, this is what we're going to do. And then include a reason why. You don't always have to, but if you receive pushback and things like that, include a reason why. And definitely be congruent on the expectations for the results that are going to be successful. Because if you know the way that's going to drive success in a way that is best practice for their business, then that's really all that matters. So hope this helped you guys. If you like some of this content, give me a like, subscribe for more. If you have anything else to say, good, bad, ugly, doesn't matter. I'm a Clint Eastwood fan. Go ahead and do it in the comments, and I will see you on the next video. Take care.